A butterfly flaps its wings, and weeks later, a tornado forms on the other side of the world. That sounds impossible, almost stupid. How could something so tiny change something so massive? But the terrifying part is, the butterfly effect was never really about butterflies. It was about something much stranger. The idea that the future can follow rules and still become impossible to predict. In the early 1960s, a meteorologist named Edward Lorenz was running a weather simulation on a computer. He wanted to repeat part of an earlier forecast. So instead of starting the whole simulation again, he restarted it from the middle. But there was one tiny difference. The original number had more decimal places. The number he typed in was rounded. The change was so small, it looked meaningless, the kind of difference most people would ignore. At first, the new forecast looked almost the same. Then it started drifting. Then it became completely different. Lorenz thought the computer had made a mistake, but the computer was not broken. It was showing him something hidden inside reality. Tiny differences can grow, not because of magic, not because of destiny, but because some systems are unstable. In a simple system, small changes stay small. Move a chair 1 inch and the room is still basically the same. But in a chaotic system, a tiny change can get amplified again and again and again, until the final result looks nothing like what you expected. Weather is one of those systems. The atmosphere is not just air floating around. It is temperature, pressure, wind, moisture, sunlight, oceans, mountains, clouds, and billions of invisible interactions happening at the same time. Change one tiny part of that system, and the whole pattern can shift. That is why weather forecasts are useful for the next few days, but become much harder the farther you look into the future. The problem is not that scientists are bad at math. The problem is that no one can measure the entire planet perfectly. Every gust of wind, every pocket of heat, every drop of moisture, every small disturbance. If the starting picture is even slightly incomplete, the prediction slowly breaks apart. And this is where most people misunderstand the butterfly effect. It does not mean every tiny action will create a huge event. Most small things disappear. Most disturbances fade away. A butterfly flapping its wings does not automatically create a tornado. The real idea is more subtle. In the right kind of system, at the right moment, a tiny difference can change the path of everything that follows. Think of a ball rolling down a mountain. At the top, move it just a little to the left, and it might roll into one valley. Move it just a little to the right, and it might roll into a completely different valley. The difference at the start is tiny. The difference at the end is enormous. Now here is the uncomfortable part. This does not just apply to weather. It applies to traffic. One driver taps the brakes. The car behind slows down. Then the next one slows down harder. A few minutes later, people far behind are stuck in a traffic jam, with no accident in sight. It applies to ecosystems. Remove one predator, one prey species grows. Plants disappear, soil changes, rivers shift. An entire landscape can transform from one missing piece. It applies to technology. One small bug in code, one hidden bias in data, one tiny design decision. At scale, it can affect millions of people. And it applies to your life. One conversation, one video, one book, one person you meet by accident. One decision that felt small at the time can quietly redirect your entire future. And one day, you look back and realize your life changed direction because of something that barely seemed important when it happened. That is the real butterfly effect. It is not a cute idea about small things being powerful. It is a warning. Reality is more sensitive than it looks. The future is not a straight road. It is a branching system. And sometimes the smallest push decides which branch you enter. But there is also something hopeful in this. Because if tiny negative things can grow, tiny positive things can grow too. One skill practiced for 10 minutes, one message sent, one idea written down, one better choice repeated. At first, nothing seems to happen. Then the system starts shifting, slowly, quietly, until the path you are on is no longer the path you were trapped in. The butterfly effect does not mean you control the storm. It means your smallest actions are not always as small as they seem. So the next time you think one choice does not matter, remember this: the future may be too complex to predict, but it is not too complex to influence. And maybe, somewhere in your life, right now, there is one tiny action waiting to become the beginning of everything. If this made you think differently, subscribe for more videos that explain the strange, hidden patterns behind reality.